Hey folks, Pastor Greg here again, and how often do we say things like, I'm going to church? Maybe you haven't said it lately, and if that's the case, then allow me to encourage you to come on back to church. Know that you are missed. But a church is more than something that we attend. See, a lot of people tend to approach going to church like going to a show. They buy their way in, they take their seat that they're supposed to sit in, and then they wait and watch, looking for opportunities to be served in some way. They consume, they take up space, maybe they offer some critiques of what's happening, and then they leave before the thing is over to avoid the crowds. Does that sound like your church experience for too long? Many people go to church thinking that they are a paid critic of everything that's going on around them, or they simply go and watch, always being a part of the audience and never really participating. But there is a difference between a church and a show. And yes, I know some churches have kind of blurred those lines, and you don't know if you're at a church or a worship service or at a show, but the difference is that we go to a show, but we're supposed to be the church. We are actually brought into the church, and we get to participate then in what the church does. And what's really amazing is who it is that brings us into church. Acts 2, verses 46 and 47, we read this: "Every day they devoted themselves to meeting together in the temple and broke bread from house to house. They ate their food with joyful and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. Every day the Lord added to their number those who were being saved." What I see in these churches is that God is the one that is responsible for saving us and then bringing us into the life of a church. Maybe you started attending because your parents or grandparents or spouse, but ultimately it was because of the work of God in your life that you were brought into a relationship with Him, but also brought into a relationship with His church. So for those who are still in the church, meaning that you attend on a regular basis and you participate in the different ministries within your church, rejoice in the knowledge that you are there because God is working in your life. For those who have left the church, I encourage you to remember it was God who brought you there, and He can bring you back. And for those who have never been part of a church, take a step of faith and see all that God can do in and through your life as you become a part of a church, and more than that, you enter into that right relationship with the Father. What I want to do is invite you then to step out from the audience, kind of become maybe a cast member or a crew member, and see all that God can do.